gather for Texas Freedom Network's Advocacy Day, a day of statewide action, training, and vital community building. Activists with Texas Freedom Network are here today to speak with legislators and advocate for reproductive rights, voting rights, immigration justice, religious freedom, LGBTQIA+ equality, and of course public schools and the right for Texas kids to receive a fully funded public education. In Texas and across the nation, our public education system, a vital cornerstone of our democracy and society as we know it, is under attack. Here in Texas, voucher schemes that steal public funds from public schools to benefit the wealthy and fund private, unregulated, and religious schools are our most immediate threat. Many of us, including myself, wouldn't be who we are today without the dedicated educators, our public schools, and the opportunities we found there. And after today's rally, we'll be sharing the over 800 stories gathered during our Love Public Schools campaign with the legislators in this building, including Brad Buckley, the author of House Bill 2, to show them just what their unpopular voucher scheme would steal from Texas kids and families. At today's rally, we'll hear from Brett Vinton-Jones, House District 100 Representative and Public Education Advocate, Chloe Latham-Sykes, IDRA Deputy Director of Policy, Jasmine Evans, Texas Rising Advocacy and Field Organizer from Corpus Christi, Reverend Teresa Wellborn, a Just Texas community member and University United Methodist Church senior pastor, Akila Kandara, Asian Texans for Justice Youth Program Senior Associate, Hayden Cohen, Seat State Policy Lead, and we'll close out with our Executive Director and President, Felicia Martin. Before we hear from students, faith leaders, and public education allies urging legislators to reject all voucher schemes that sacrifice the education of Texas kids, I want to lead us in a chant. We're going to do this 2 times, and it's going to go like this. Education is a right, that is why we have to fight. Education is a right, that is why we have to fight. Education is a right, that is why we have to fight. So excited. And then we're going to close out with, the people united will never be divided. 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 Thank you so much for being here and rallying with us. I'm going to pass it off to Vinton Jones, our first speaker.
Thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, again, my name is State Representative Vinton Jones, and I have the honor and privilege of representing House District 100, which is in the great city of Dallas, in the Texas House. First off, I want to say thank you so much to the Texas Freedom Network for the opportunity to speak with you today. Second, I want to thank you all for being here and being a part of this very important conversation. By a show of hands, how many of you, during the 89th legislative session, you visited the Capitol more than once already? By a show of hands. All right, so we need to see a little bit more of that. If we are really serious about dealing with the threat of vouchers in our schools, in our state right now, I think that, and it's been spoken about several times about why vouchers are bad. And it's not about just the private schools, it's really about the money that is that is needed to be able to fund our public education system, especially in the face of a federal administration that's trying to gut our entire federal Department of Education. And so at a time right now where we should be investing in our schools, we're proposing to take billions of dollars out of state resources, out of those public schools where we can be giving teachers needed raises, where we could be improving our schools so that they're not targets for shootings, protecting our children, protecting our teachers, protecting our support staff, making sure that we are investing in a way that our schools can continue to be viable for another generation of individuals. That is what we are fighting for right now. And so, as we all are here at the Capitol, I want to encourage you to do just a couple of things right now. I know that you may hear in the media, you may hear sometimes even in this building that vouchers are guaranteed to pass. We know better than that, don't we? Right. There is no guarantee that vouchers are going to pass right now, especially as recent as this week. we saw as we started running the numbers in our district, this, as we already know, is going to cost more than just $1 billion. Vouchers are proposed to take several $1 billion out of our public school, out of our state funds that can be used towards public schools right now. Do many of you know that we do have it's been said that we have a surplus of $23 billion. How many of you heard that? There is no surplus because we should have used that money to invest in our public schools last session. But what we saw was that those needed school infrastructure improvements, whether we go look at teacher raises, changing the basic allotment, improving school safety, we held those things over the heads of voters in order to try to pass vouchers in which we came together, not only as a legislator, we came together as Texans in just one legislative session, and we didn't say no to vouchers once. We didn't say no to vouchers twice during the regular session. We came back up to 4 special sessions saying no to vouchers, and that is exactly what we need to continue to do right now. Yes. So, this is what I need you to do, and I'm going to make this real quick. 1, talk to every member of the Public Education Committee and tell them no, in the House Public Education Committee, and tell them no to vouchers. 2, I want you to also listen to some of the things that they're saying that vouchers will do so that you can be able to be equipped with the facts around why that's really not happening on the ground at the schools that you attend and that you represent. 3, making sure that you continue to have conversations with leadership on the Senate side and even the governor's office to continue to show that Texans do not need vouchers at this time. We need to continue to say no. We need to continue to move efforts, just like we're working on in House Bill 3, that's going to provide needed school finance and needed investments in our school systems right here and right now. So again, I just want to say we're continuing to come to our Capitol and have your voices heard. We need you right now. We need more. We need as many people as we can to be here for the rest of the process, to where right now we have the bill in committee right now. We need to make sure that your voices are being heard then. If this bill gets out of committee, we need to make sure that you come back as these items are moving to the floor and continue to have your voice heard. If you know people who cannot make it to the Capitol, you can write letters. You can make phone calls. All of those things are so important and need to be a part of the record. So I'll end with this. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for the work that we're doing to make sure we're saying no to vouchers in the state of Texas once again. God bless
you. Well, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Chloe Latham-Sykes. I'm the Deputy Director of Policy at IDRA. We are a 52-year-old, nonpartisan, nonprofit committed to ensuring that all children have access to quality public schools. I am also the proud product of Texas Public Schools and a parent about to enroll my child in public pre-K in the fall. So I care deeply about what happens in our public schools and the quality of our schools for our students and families. At IDRA, we are committed to putting children first, and that is why we oppose any private school voucher program. Now look, Texas has never had a statewide voucher program, but we have decades of research from other states that show us what we need to know. That students do not learn better, they're not better learning outcomes, they're not bigger and better opportunities for students, and they certainly do not empower parents. Looking across the country at the voucher programs we see elsewhere and at the bills on the table here in Texas, we know that vouchers offer no protections for families with a child with disability, or who speak a language other than English at home, or who love differently, or pray differently than what the private school and the voucher program might accept. We also know that students just don't do well in voucher programs. In Indiana, we know that elementary school students in that voucher program did worse in reading and math. In Louisiana, we saw that students had academic declines in the voucher program, especially in math. Illinois even let their voucher program expire because of rampant discrimination against children with disabilities and based on students' gender and sexuality. The school voucher experiment is a failure, and we don't need to let 5.5 million Texas public school students be the next guinea pigs to prove it. Thank you. drain funds from our public schools. We believe that children should all have the chance to pursue their dreams, and that's why our schools need the resources to prepare each and every one of them to succeed, regardless of their racial background, of their disability, of their religion, where they come from, how much money their parents might make, or where they live. We want better funded schools. We want smaller class sizes. We want to have more counselors and more nurses and more librarians. We want certified and trained teachers who want to stay in the classroom. We want fun and engaging curriculum that inspires our students and challenging coursework that prepares them for college and life beyond. And we want schools to be able to offer the activities and events that make them the hubs of their communities. We know we have a lot to do to make sure our public schools offer the education to every child that they deserve. Let's say no to vouchers and keep our public dollars and public schools that will serve all children and stay accountable to Texas families. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, y'all. Let me know if you can hear me. So I'm Jasmine Evans. I'm the Advocacy Organizer for Texas Rising in Corpus Christi. As we take time today to show our love for public schools and reject vouchers, I want to uplift the vital advocacy happening in my own region, where we're fighting to keep books about LGBTQIA+, Black and Brown communities in our public libraries. Our students cannot realize the dream of a fully funded, excellent public education system without access to books that reflect who they are and expand their minds. In our city, the mission of our public libraries is to improve literacy, enhance knowledge, and create a sense of community by making useful information easily accessible in Corpus Christi, according to our city's website. Despite this, the Library Advisory Board has been trapped in a year-long debate over material censorship, particularly censoring topics related to the LGBTQIA+ community and sexual health. After countless staff presentations, legal advisory meetings, hours of public comment and outcry against rejecting book bans, over half of the Library Advisory Board is still determined to have these books removed from our state's public libraries. The members of the Library Advisory Board want to ban books in our community and oust board members who disagree with them would rather completely erase us than allow our stories to be available to Texans and students of this district. We deserve to feel safe to share stories of our loved ones, our neighbors, historical icons. We deserve a board that empowers and educates. We deserve compassionate and inclusive leaders, not just in Corpus Christi, but for all of Texas. The Texas Rising Corpus Christi chapter is working in our community to ensure this happens. We spent the past year keeping our community up to date on the happenings of the Library Advisory Board, hosting public comment workshops and board information sessions, and collaborating with various partner organizations to fight for our community, uplifting and supporting local endeavors to pick up where our public institutions are lacking. The Free Store and American Federation of Teachers hosted back-to-school night book drives to provide educational resources and literary material to children in the school. The traveling library brings the library to you, making it more accessible. Our board and representatives should notice how our community is caring for itself and meet our demands. Knowledge should be accessible for all, not hidden and erased. Making knowledge more accessible has been a battle, not just for our public libraries, but our schools as well. Our public education system is being attacked and robbed right before our eyes. Education has the ability to empower people to change the course of their lives. Personally, I graduated from my high school as a certified medical assistant and pharmacy technician because of the programs that our school offered. And that would have been impossible without the funding that we had. And impossible with the funding that some lawmakers in this building are trying to take away. And while these private schools would receive taxpayer money, they wouldn't be held to the same standard as our public schools. For example, providing transportation is not a requirement for private schools. Coming from the coastal bend, which comprises of rural and city areas as well, this would be terrible for us. Our public schools would be defunded, and those who do send their child to private schools will have to increase cost and time and money getting their kids to a school much further away. Many jobs have also been lost in my area to defunding and potential closure of our schools. Young Texans like me depend on our public education system to build our futures, and today we're calling on lawmakers to show our public schools love and reject voucher systems. As a child, my classmates and I knew that our teachers were the real superheroes of our small town. As youth, we knew that our schools were the heartbeat of our community. Today, I stand before you, knowing that our great state of Texas, here, the voucher program is threatening this vital institution that we know and love, called our Texas Public Schools, because vouchers drain them of funds and resources. Not only do vouchers drain them of resources and sending those funds away from our public schools, but they send those taxpayer dollars to private schools and parents who have the means to send their children there. Private schools that can and do refuse children entrance based on a variety of factors, primarily the income of the child's parents. The voucher scheme discriminates and it is classist. Let us be clear. When public schools are threatened, this means that children, students, and our future leaders are harmed. As a United Methodist pastor, I support our denomination's strong tradition of uplifting our public schools. We believe that all children have the right to a quality education, and the key word here is all. Our public schools welcome and educate all children regardless of their class, race, socioeconomic status, sexual identity, and ability. And let me linger here for just a moment. I share with you that I am a product of Texas public education. I'm also the daughter of a retired public school teacher and the sister of a special educator just a little south of here in Comal County, where she teaches in the public schools as a special education teacher. The same small town education that shaped me, the same small town that, by the way, to this day still has no other choice but public school, for there are no private school options for the upper middle class there. That same public school formed my superhero special ed sister. Like teachers across this great state, she gives her all, every single day with scarce resources, because our legislators have yet to fully fund special education. Let us start here with fully funding education for the underrepresented. Let us begin with fully funding education for all children, period. Thank you. And may all of us find a way every day to show some love to the superheroes of our communities and towns and public schools. And may we find a way to show some love to our public schools, the heartbeat of our communities. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Akila Kundara, and I'm the Youth Program Senior Associate at Asian Texans for Justice, a statewide nonprofit dedicated to connecting Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Texans to civic action. Today, I'm here with deep concern about how an education savings account or school voucher program will impact the future of Texas. Vouchers do not provide families with more choices. They limit the choices for Texans of diverse backgrounds. In the API community alone, we speak over 100 languages and represent a broad range of ethnicities and religions. Most Texas private schools are religious institutions, with private Christian schools being some Texans' only private school option. Additionally, private schools are not required to follow the same standards as public schools on bilingual education or special education services. Texas public schools educate 10% of the nation's school-age children, an immense responsibility we bear as Texans. When public schools are funded properly, they are the great equalizer, ensuring that every child, regardless of their background or their needs, has access to education that prepares them for success. Eastern Elementary in my hometown of Amarillo, Texas, is a prime example
Eastridge Elementary serves primarily Asian refugee community with students representing many ethnicities and religions. The school is home to over 40 different languages spoken by its diverse student body, with many Eastridge alumni going to be successful. These students rely on the diverse and inclusive learning environment that Texas Public Schools provide. Under a voucher program, schools like Eastridge Elementary, which serve diverse populations, could be impacted on the resources available to their students. Let's be clear, vouchers don't level the playing field, they tilt it. They give tax dollars to private schools while draining public ones. And families like ours, families that speak different languages, practice different faiths, or come from immigrant backgrounds, will be the first to lose out. Texas is strongest when every student has access to a good education, and no matter where they come from or what language they speak. Let's invest in Texas public schools and teach all of Texas, not vouchers that exclude most of it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. My name is Peyton Cohen. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm a proud graduate of Houston ISD Public Schools and a current college student, as well as the State Policy Director of Students Engaged in Advancing Texas, a student-led movement fighting to ensure the young people have a voice in the policies that affect our lives. I've watched hours of public testimony on vouchers time and time again and hear the same stories from proponents about the struggles that are caused by our state struggles that Texas public schools are facing. But the truth is those struggles are caused by our state lawmakers who've chosen to underfund our schools and ignore the needs of Texas students. It's a simple formula. Take away resources from public schools, then blame those very schools for lack of teachers, overcrowded classrooms, and test scores. But the answer isn't to give up on our public schools. The answer is to invest in them. We should be reducing teacher-to-student ratios, hiring full-time staff that can meet our students' physical and mental health needs, and implementing restorative justice practices and policies to actually address bullying. Investment is the real solution for all families. There's also a major concern that we are funding discrimination by giving public dollars to private schools. I know this firsthand. I actually went to a private Orthodox Jewish school for elementary. I know that if I used a voucher program to attend that school for middle school or high school, I would have been expelled on the spot when I came out of state. And there would be no stopping that person from following me, all while getting to keep the government money. I would have then had to attend a public school that had become severely underfunded because of the same voucher program that allowed my expulsion. This is not hypothetical. It's what happens when we fund discrimination. And it's not just about LGBT+ kids like me. Families across Texas, Black and brown students, students with disabilities, students from low-income backgrounds would be left behind by vouchers. Private schools can pick and choose who they accept. Public schools cannot. And yet we're talking about draining resources from the one place where students have a right to be. Let's also be real about who gets left out. Families without access to transportation, rural students, families who don't speak English as a first language, and families who can't afford the extras that private schools charge beyond the voucher amounts. That's not school choice, that's school exclusion. Students deserve better. We deserve fully funded public schools with enough teachers, extracurriculars, and classrooms where we all belong. Let's invest in the schools that serve all of us, not just some of us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Texas Freedom Network, all of our supporters and volunteers. My name is Felicia Martin, and I'm the proud Executive Director and President of the Texas Freedom Network. I'm also a product of public schools, proud graduate of all the ISD school districts in the Houston area. So thank you all for showing up today for this exciting day of action. I'm filled with gratitude and pride seeing the faces of our strong advocates gathered together from our Just Texas and our Texas Rising projects too. If you're from Texas Rising, can I hear you? This is TFN's connect with our legislators to demand what we deserve: quality public education, true religious freedom, reproductive rights, LGBTQIA+ equality, immigration justice, action on the very real climate crisis, and so much more. We're here today because we believe Texas can be a place that is fair, just, and truly free for everyone. A place where our elected leaders listen to the people they've been elected to serve, not the extremist fringe or their own personal interests. For too long, the far-right legislators in this building have used their power to push a hateful agenda, one that stifles progress, pits us against one another, and holds us back from the promise of a better future. And when it comes to pushing that agenda, there's no better example than Governor Abbott's latest attempt to divert taxpayer money into private schools through his voucher scheme. It's nothing new, y'all. We've beaten it before, and we'll beat it again, because our public dollars belong to our public schools. That's right. As you can see all around me today, holding signs with real stories. Hold them up. These are real stories from real Texans about why they love their community public schools. These stories remind us why it's so important to keep fighting for a Texas where every child, no matter who they are, where they live, their religious faith, or how much money their parents make, can have a quality education. So listen up. Legislators, Texans don't want vouchers. Well-funded public schools, no negotiations.
Yes.
We know that the fight for progress in Texas isn't easy. It's an uphill battle, but Texas Freedom Network has been on the front lines for 30 years. And that's because of committed grassroots activists like you. Whether this is your first Advocacy Day, which is mine, or you've been with us for years, I want you to know that you have power. The legislators in this building are elected to serve you and the people you represent. As you meet with them this afternoon to advocate for the issues that are important to you, remember that today is a small part of something much bigger. We are part of an unstoppable, historic movement to transform Texas into the state we know it can be, a place that is fair, just, and where everyone can thrive. So thank you for being here and for using your power. Now let's get to work.